A lot of people have been asking me what it's like to live in a war zone because I'm here in Kharkov, Ukraine, and this is most definitely a war zone. We've got the invading Russian army just about 30 kilometers away. And yeah, battles, advances, retreats, all kinds of stuff going on the eastern side of the city. And so a lot of people want to know, what is it like? And well, the answer is anticlimactic. Yeah, basically. Because on the one hand, you're terrified that some bomb will fall on your head. I mean, especially when the war breaks out, you're thinking, a bomb is going to hit me any second now. There's a bomb, a missile with my name on it, and I'm going to get hit any day now. And of course, that doesn't happen after the first few days. And so you start to think to yourself, well, maybe it's not going to hit me, but it's going to be around, And what happens is that you at first, when the war starts, you're kind of paralyzed, and you don't know what to do, and you're kind of like stuck, and you're sort of like hemmed in, like not knowing if you can do work or if you can just enjoy yourself, or what are you supposed to do? And of course, you're terrified the whole time. But then after a while, well, you can't sustain an emotion like that all the time. You can't be terrorized 24/7. And so slowly you start to calm down and you realize, well, there's a war going on. I kind of know it's like over there somewhere. So I guess I'll just start to just live my life. And that's what you do. And you start going about your day. And one of the things that you discover is that, of course, all that video footage of those destroyed apartment buildings and whatnot, yes, they are destroyed, and it's a tragedy for those people, no question about it. Many of them are killed. But see, it's very localized. See, in a war, it's not like the entire city is destroyed at one go. It's like here, and then over there, and then over here, and over here, It's different places where the battles take place, and they're not happening all simultaneously. Now, of course, fixing the debris and the wreckage, you can't do it while the war is happening. So if any battle happens, one particular area is going to be destroyed, and it's going to remain destroyed until eventually the war ends. And then people are going to start to clean up the mess and rebuild. And that's the natural state of affairs. But see, while you're in it, you know perfectly well where the combat areas are. Because, it's really obvious, okay? It's not like secret, okay? You hear all kinds of missiles and gunfire and all the rest of it. You hear it from literally miles away. And so because of it, you can avoid it. And of course, you do avoid it. And so you go about your life ignoring that area over there, like, oh yeah, there's like a battle going on over there. Yeah, we'll just ignore it. It's kind of like when you're living in a big city and you know those neighborhoods that are better to avoid altogether, and you wind up never going there because it's like the bad neighborhood where the criminals are and stuff like that. And so you just like make your way around those areas, right? Exact same thing. See, you know where the battle is taking place. It's loud, okay? You'd be surprised how loud a tank can be. And forget about artillery or missile strikes. They are loud from tens of miles away. I can hear something, I can say, oh yeah, that's about 20 kilometers away. Just by listening to it. It sounds extraordinary. It sounds like thunder. It sounds sometimes like very close thunder, but even when it's very close thunder, it's still far away. And so how can I put this? You learn to adapt and live with it. And this thing of like breaking down and crying and sobbing and having like an emotional meltdown, you really can't afford to do that when you're actually in a war zone. In fact, in many ways, it toughens you up because you can afford to have like an emotional meltdown when you're in like this really safe place, this safe area, safe city, safe country, where everything is peaceful and everything is organized and fixed and pretty and clean and beautiful and all the rest of it, right? There you can have your emotional meltdown. But when you're actually in a war zone, you can't, okay? Because, see, here's the key issue. If you are in a peaceful, rich place, you can have your emotional meltdown and people will come and try to comfort you. But if you have an emotional meltdown in the middle of the war, people are just going to look at you and just avoid you and walk on their way and ignore you. You're just a waste of their time, a waste of their energy. Just get away from me, you crybaby. That's what happens, see? And so anyway, you go about your day, and insofar as the practical matter is concerned, insofar as Kharkov is concerned, well, the various supermarkets are open and they rotate, and they try to keep supplies. And of course, there are some foodstuffs that just have vanished. One of the things I really miss are Pringles potato chips. They're gone, long gone, right? But what you do get every day is like fresh bread. And I'm going to tell you something. I lived in Paris, okay? And I've lived in Viña del Mar, and that's the best bread I've ever had until now. The bread that they are selling here is just incredible. Black bread, white bread, it's just unbelievably good, unbelievably tasty and flavorful. Yeah, of course, because it doesn't have any chemicals or any kind of preservative whatsoever. This is fresh, straight from the oven, right to you, okay? So it's delicious. I mean, I have to say that that's one of the high points of this whole war, right? And so anyway, you have the supermarkets that rotate. Sometimes they're closed, and sometimes they open up, and you get a notice on Telegram. And then the same goes for gas stations. But gasoline, well, I'll just say it's running low. I don't know if it's like against the rules to say that it's running low, but it's not a big secret. Any information that I pass along, the Russians know it long before. So yeah, the gasoline situation is kind of like, scraping the bottom of the barrel, if you will. And the pharmacies, they are always open and they rotate as well. I haven't had an opportunity to go to a pharmacy, but I've seen people go in and out and no problem. And businesses for the most part are closed, but some businesses are. And some of the businesses that are open can be kind of surprising. Like, for instance, there's this flower shop that is relentlessly open. Yeah, I've never stepped in myself. I walk by it on my way to different places, and it is open every day. And they've got fresh flowers there. I mean, obviously, they're doing business, so good on them, yeah. And some other random businesses are kind of open, but for the most part, everything is closed, even in the areas that are very, very peaceful here. Now, this is what I'm experiencing here in Kharkov. Is it dangerous? Is it scary walking down the street? No, because like I said, you can hear when the rocket strikes happen. And when the rocket strikes happen, see, it's number one, it's usually far away, but when it gets closer, see, you get the warning. You're not like, it's not going to be out of the blue. You're not going to just simply just vanish, be vaporized in a puff of smoke because some missile hit you, okay? So I think the best analogy I can say is that it's like, living in a big city with the bad neighborhoods. You avoid them and you move on with your life.